We need to talk about Gary Kasparov, who tweeted something that really triggered me last night and made me say, I'm going to reply to your tweet because this is something that we needed to talk about. What did he tweet? When I was forced to escape Putin's crackdown in Russia and made my home in America, I never imagined I would be warning my new home about the threat of authoritarianism. But thanks to Trump, here we are, my article. And he has this article, and I'm going to debunk all this stuff that he wrote there that are either lies or, arguments that don't hold together. He should stick to chess, but before we get started, we should be looking at his, the next tweets before the article itself. My endorsement of Harris, maybe Diddy tapes, is an endorsement of democracy, of institutions, democracy, especially democracy, because you know that Kamala Harris represents democracy in every way, of course. Institutions of the country I grew up admiring from afar. America must not fall into the corrupt oligarchy that MAGA wants to build. Why didn't MAGA build it on Donald Trump's first term, is my question. One model on Trump's idol, Putin, by the way. I warned about Trump from the beginning because I know from experience what autocrats look and sound like. Yes, many of them look and sound like, and not gonna lie, in some instances, Trump has this populist angles, but now we have the benefit of hindsight of one term of Donald Trump as president. So it's not like you don't know what he's going to do, because if he wanted to be a dictator, he would have been in his first term, don't you think? I also know from experience what communists sound like. And Harris, for all my concerns about American far left, is no communist. Oh, no, man. You're pushing it too far. I have many informed reasons to believe that the Harris administration will be stronger on foreign policy than the current one. Yeah, because Kamala did so well on local policy that, it's not. But if you disagree with Harris' policies, start challenging her the day after the election. I certainly will. That won't be an option with Trump. Oh my God, I need to do this because this triggered me so much that I don't know how to process this in a way that this doesn't sound insulting, but I want to be insulting because the guy deserves it. I don't care if he's a chess legend. I don't care. He's a moron when it comes to this. I'm not gonna read the whole article. I'm just going to point out the inconsistencies. Look at this. Trump hasn't even won the election yet, and his victory is far from assured. Okay, we agree on that. But we are already seeing signs of preemptive obedience that should look familiar to many refugees from repressive regimes like me. Now, look at this. You have to hear this. Both the Washington Post and Los Angeles Times canceled endorsements of Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this month at the behest of their owners, a de facto silencing of two major national newspapers. So it couldn't be that their owners are uncomfortable about Kamala Harris. That could happen. We are not comfortable endorsing Kamala Harris. No, he's framing this. Kasparov is framing this as in, they are worried about Trump. They are worried. He's making that up. He's making up that the reason why the Washington Post and Los Angeles Times did not endorse Kamala Harris is not because Kamala Harris is bad. No, because she's great. No, it's because they already fear Donald Trump. He just made that up. There's no way to support that argument. There's nothing that supports it. It should come as no surprise that business owners are careful to avoid upsetting someone who has frequently called for his detractor to be locked up. Yeah, he said many times that, that chanting about Hillary Clinton, lock her up. Maybe I don't know if he started that himself, but in his rallies in 2016, well, that was a staple of his rallies. Did he lock Hillary up? No. He had 4 years to do so. He didn't. That is interesting. Or in the case of Liz Cheney, have guns trained on her face, which I already debunked that this is a hoax, which was a metaphor about, well, maybe she wouldn't be a war hawk if she had guns pointing to her face. A metaphor, like if she was directly involved in that, but nobody was saying that she was going to be in front of a peloton or something like that. This election is a choice between a candidate who has vowed to fight for Americans' institutions, that is Kamala Harris, according to Kasparov, and one who is deeply dangerous, a candidate who I believe will bring total mayhem and destruction to this country. Maybe Kasparov saw Hulk Hogan on Trump's rallies and he was afraid. Yeah, Kasparov might be that kind of people, of man. My criticism of both Trump and Joe Biden has been far from quiet. Only 28% of Americans today believe the country is moving in the right direction. Oh, that's great that he mentions that statistic, and I understand their frustrations. It's about Biden, all right. While the situation at home certainly raises concerns, the geopolitical landscape is disastrous, the worst I have seen in my living memory. Americans' prestige abroad is disintegrating. No wonder then that Trump's hate-filled rhetoric is finding purchase. So let's not point fingers at Biden, who is responsible for that. Let's not point fingers at Kamala, and you're going to see the next screenshot so you understand much better. No, let's say that Trump says, Trump is denouncing what is going on the geopolitical landscape, but no, Trump is taking advantage of it. If Kasparov mentions it, he's doing the right thing. If Trump mentions it, he's taking advantage of that chaotic geopolitical landscape. And who is responsible for that chaos? But this is my favorite part. No vice president in recent memory played any meaningful role in setting policy. Oh my God, Gary, they do not hold the same responsibility as their boss for the direction the country takes. Biden essentially functioned as Barack Obama's messenger because his main task as vice president for 8 years was to carry out and effectively communicate Obama's vision, not his own. The same has been true of Kamala Harris for the last 4 years. She hasn't done anything. So that is supposed to be something good about Kamala Harris. She has done anything in 4 years. He's putting this as, no pun intended, as this is a good angle, a good thing about Kamala Harris. I cannot understand how did he write this. Her job has been to further Biden's agenda, not her own. And you remember how many times Biden made sure to say that Kamala was involved in every decision, and she had total agency, and she had agency at Border SAR. And moreover, Kamala stated herself that she wouldn't change a thing about the Biden administration. So you tell me if this makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense in the least. Harris, on the other hand, doesn't carry the same Cold War baggage and has said that she would not allow Ukraine to succumb to Russian aggression. Why hasn't she done that if she had the agency? I don't believe her administration. I would have been a great lawyer. I would have been a great attorney. I don't believe her administration would continue the Biden administration policies of betrayal. That is your belief. We cannot vote on beliefs, what you think that people are going or not going to do. We usually vote of what comes out of people's mouth, 2, what people have done in the past because we cannot see the future, and 3, if there are contradictions between both things. So if you have beliefs about the future, no, Gary, that is not how it works. That is not how it works. Because Harris hasn't been on the foreign policy scene for decades, my prediction is that she will hew closely to public opinion, which is currently oriented around a consensus that America should stand up to dictators. Well, America has always stood up to dictators. It is my belief. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe hasn't changed from maybe Obama. I don't have enough experience and knowledge about that, but let's give Gary a pass on this one. And on the domestic front, as a new president interested in being reelected and likely constrained by a divided Congress and conservative Supreme Court majority, pay attention to this, Harris would be unlikely to make waves and institute radical progressive policies. So he acknowledges that Kamala's baggage is bringing radical progressive policies, but he's not afraid of that because Congress and Supreme Court majority would not allow her to do anything about that. That is something good as well. She wouldn't be as persuasive. She wouldn't be able to do anything because she would have Congress and the Supreme Court against her. That is supposed to be something good? All right, man. If you say so, yeah, better stick to chess. Better stick to chess. Disagreements over her limited price controls, tax policy, or stance on social issues might constitute a strong arguments against electing her. In this race, however, these arguments are moot. If you disagree with her policies, start challenging her the day after the election. I certainly will. No, man, that's not that. You should go to Venezuela, man. I don't care what you live in Soviet Russia. You should go to Venezuela and spend like 1, 2, 3 months there and we'll talk. And no, I would not be your tour guide. You will have to handle yourself on your own. I am cautiously optimistic about the Harris presidency. That is beta male speak. She has the opportunity to normalize a deeply fractured political climate, to bring together the center-left and center-right under a banner of creating real opportunity, the opportunity economy of Kamala Harris, for all Americans. Yeah, the unity, calling people garbage, Biden calling people garbage, Nazis and all the stuff. That is the unity that she is, that she has been saying, I don't know, spewing in her rallies. Anyone who has lived in the Soviet Union or in Putin's Russia will tell you what it's like to fear publicly condemning the government. I know what it is like. I had to leave my country because of that, you moron. In Trump, I hear echoes of Soviet leaders past and Russian leaders present. Why didn't it happen in Trump's first term? Why didn't we have political prosecutions in Trump's first term? It is my question, Gary. Kamala Harris' election is the only way to preserve democracy at home and abroad. She might not be the best choice, but in November 5, she is the only one. Cry it. Now say it without crying, Gary. Now say it without crying. I have to end this with this quote by Lawrence Fox. If Donald Trump was going to destroy America, he would have done it in his first term. If Kamala Harris was going to help America, she would have done it in her first term. Yes, and so we have a grandmaster, legend, whatever you want. Yeah, the guy is great, one of the greatest at chess. He was humiliated by a machine. I think that, it's something that it was not unexpected, because, machines. But right now, I think that his political opinions, he should just sit this one out. This ain't it, bro. You are so wrong. Your arguments don't hold. You're based on hoaxes, lies, and believes that you think that Kamala is either going to behave, she's going to behave well, and if she's not, then Congress and the Supreme Court are not going to allow her to do anything. That is very promising. That is very promising. You are such a moron. It's impressive. It's incredible how people just decimate their reputation, their trajectory in just one article. Fascinating. Great. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. Remember to download my 100 body language tips, and you will be subscribed to my very triggering emails that I will be sending to you. Because if you are not triggered by my emails, then it means that I am not doing things the right way.